permission, yet they can hire Hispanic people and black people as much as they want? Do you know that United Airlines wants to double the amount of Hispanic and black pilots and try to hire less white pilots? You're right, you and I have it different, and currently, the current regime and status quo is making it easier for you. You have privilege.
I love how you turn it around after I threw facts at you. You're telling to go backwards like this, but the facts is it's there. The facts is that these laws that you say that were good.
I never said they were good.
Are they good laws? You're turning it around.
I said they very well could have been repealed for other reasons than racism, but I am saying this. I'm saying right now in America, you have every opportunity. In fact, it's even more than that. You have preference. As a person of color, it's easier for you to succeed than your white counterpart in this room right now. You are given a hand up. You are given discrimination in your favor right now.
I just wish, my biggest wish, I just wish that race wasn't even considered.
How the heck can you come to a state like Arizona, live here, and Tucson, when we had, and say there's no such thing as white privilege or racism, when there's been not one, but two laws that have been deemed racist by a federal lawyer in the past 11 years. And here's the law. I know you go after people, man, and I got my facts.
Buckle up.
All right, cool. I'm ready. So in 2003, Tucson Unified School District created a program called Mexican American Studies. You know what it is?
Sounds pretty self-evident.
It's critical race theory we are against.
Okay.
So in 2000, it was made to close the achievement gap for Latino students, for European American students. TUSU has 75% Latino students. In 2007, we caught up. This is right around the time where Tom Horn, the state superintendent, saw this. He called these classes racist, teaching to overthrow the government. He lied and said they were segregating these schools, segregating the students. But here's the thing, he never went to a class. And he tried 3 different times, in 2007, 2008, 2009, and by 2010, Governor Jan Brewer signed the law that banned these classes. The only reason why he saw this, because he saw that Latinos were catching up. In 2017, a federal judge deemed that the law was racist, and that his whole point of view was racist, and it was the 14th Amendment that.
I think a big disconnect that I've heard when I hear college students speak, and I'm not even talking about him specifically because we just started the video, and he does sound like he came with at least some like information, which is better than a lot of other people. But I've noticed a lot of students try to say white privilege exists because racism exists. What I've noticed, or what I can conclude for myself, is that racism exists. I think everybody knows racism exists. But the problem is racism is not subjective to just one race. Anybody can be racist. So the reason I said that specifically is because when you say white privilege, it implies that white people are the sole heirs to the sword of racism and they just swing it at everyone else, when that's not the case. Anybody can be racist. Anybody can experience racism. And I think we should know that, right? So when you bring up white privilege and you try to make it synonymous with racism, that's where, you know, people feel like it's a problem. But let's get into this video.
That was wrong for us. He deemed these classes that were racist the whole time. So I want to know, how can you come here and tell me there's no such thing as white privilege and no such thing as racism?
Easily. There's no such thing as white privilege or racism. So well, there's racism, but it's not institutional. I mean, so
are you saying the judge was?
Yeah, I was about to say there's a such thing as racism, but he kind of rephrased it and said it's not institutional. But regardless of that, there is definitely such thing as racism. Everyone knows it. Anyone can be racist.
Wrong.
Of course. I mean, your judges could be wrong all the time without specific knowledge of what you're talking about with that. But here's the most obvious way I could debunk what you're saying, which is you assume Jan Brewer signed it because she hates Latino people. Is that right?
It came out that she has. It's been proven.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Whoa. What evidence do you have that Jan Brewer hates Latino people?
If you go watch the documentary about Raza Studies.
What?
It's been go watch the documentary called Raza Studies. It's about Mexican American studies.
La Raza Studies?
Raza Studies.
Okay. Well, yeah, not exactly well versed in that, but
what's wrong with that?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It sounds interesting. But I suppose the question is, would there be another explanation for Jan Brewer doing that? Or are you going to blame
She signed
racism
another
on
law
me?
called SB 1070.
So what about SB 1070?
What's wrong? Do you know what SB 1070 is?
Tell me what it is.
It's basically a law for an officer to pull me over and ask for my papers when I've
Well-
never even been to Mexico.
Okay, well, I think people should be asked for their papers regardless of the skin
Okay,
color.
so there we go. Here's white privilege.
Why is that white privilege?
Okay, here we go.
How is that white privilege?
Here we go. Who are they
Yeah.
going to ask for their papers? Me or you?
I get asked for papers all the time
No,
when I
you
get
don't.
pulled over. Yeah, I can
get-
show you my pile of
Do you get asked to
tickets.
prove that you're a citizen of the United States?
Hold on a second. First of all, I get asked for my driver's license all the time when I get pulled over. In fact, every time I get pulled over, I get asked.
Yeah, that wasn't really a good example because literally every time someone gets pulled over, I don't care who you are, they're going to ask to see your license and registration. That's like the protocol for majority of cops. So I don't really know what he's saying. If you don't have a license, a U.S. my bad, y'all, I'm a little sick. A U.S. based license or a registration, is obvious that you're not a citizen. So when you put it like that, yes, you are. You do have to prove that you're a citizen because you can't get a license unless you're registered to a certain state that you're a member of that state. So yeah, I don't really get how what he's saying. I don't get how what he's saying is a problem because yes, every time you get pulled over, yes, you have to prove that you're a citizen. You may not think you're proving it, but you have to prove it.
Asked for my driver's
You're not
license,
gonna-
okay? So, but here's the one thing. Hold on. Do you really think that you're being pulled over just because of the color of your skin?
Dude, it's happened many times.
Hey, guess what?
You're
I get
never-
pulled over too.
Let me see. You're never gonna know it because you don't look like me, man.
Wait, hold
You're
on.
never gonna have to
So-
know my struggles.
Wait, I mean, this is the problem. I'm just going to give you a piece of advice. Honestly, you complimented me and Candace Owens. You're looking at the world as a victim. Okay, you're looking at the world as if there's systemic racism and the evil white man that's trying to crush you. It's a lie. It's a lie that is designed to keep you down. It's a lie that is designed to try and disempower you. And white people get pulled over all the time to be asked for their papers. And if a non-citizen does not have their papers, they should be deported from this country if they do not have their papers. So please go ahead.
All right, before you start saying I'm playing that victim thing, I'm never going to call myself a victim, but I'm not blind to the fact that my journey is going to be different than someone that doesn't look like me.
Bro, you are calling yourself a victim. You are, because you told him, this is coming from what he said. This is not my opinions. You said, you'll never know my struggles because you don't look like me. And when he said that, I thought about myself because I'm blacker than you. I'm black. I am black in America. We are supposed to be. We are supposed to be like the ultimate face of victim. We're supposed to be like the LeBron James of victimhood. From what you hear in the media, African Americans, we're supposed to be like the poster child of a victim. So when you said that, I'm like, but I know you're looking at yourself as a victim because I'm black and I don't even look at myself like this. And I look darker than you. So if you're basing it on for white privilege, like you said, then wouldn't the least amount of whiteness have the least amount of privilege? And have them literally be the biggest victim? But that's not the case. Because I'm black. You're Latino. And I do think that race can lead to other like certain problems. But I don't think race determines the quality of your life or the amount of privilege you have. I don't think that's true. Because there are white people I have more privilege than. There are white people you have more privilege than. There are white people who have more privileges than you. There are white people who have more privileges than me. Race is not the determining factor on whether you have a good life or a privileged life or a bad life. It just doesn't. It's not even a realistic concept, if I'm being honest.
You're right. So you know how it's going to be different? It's going to be easier for you. It's because affirmative action laws benefit people of color above white applicants to certain universities. In Texas, if you try to get Regeneron or monoclonal antibodies, the specific position of the Texas Health and Human Services is we only give Regeneron to Hispanic and black people and not to white people. At State Street Capital Advisors, if you want to be a financial manager, you know they're not allowed to hire white people without...
And this is why, if you just rewind 30 seconds, I said that race can determine like certain privileges or different things. You probably, when I said that, you're probably like, what do you mean by that? But yes, it definitely can. Because like he just said, If me and a white student had the same exact life, the only difference that I'm black and he's white, and we had the same exact grades, we had the same exact SAT or whatever scores, and we both applied to the same 20 colleges, there is a higher chance that I would get into more schools because I am a minority. Because some schools have to meet a certain quota of African Americans or of minorities, and because it's less people applying who are black or who are Latino, you have a higher chance of getting in if you have good scores or good grades. That's just what it is. That's not even about race. That's the reality of what it is. So that's why I said your race, it can help or hurt you in certain areas. It's just what it is, bro. So using that I'm a minority, so I'm a victim, that's a terrible mindset to have. It's terrible, bro. It's just not true.
Board permission, yet they can hire Hispanic people and black people as much as they want. Do you know that United Airlines wants to double the amount of Hispanic and black pilots and try to hire less white pilots? You're right. You and I have it different. And currently, the current regime and status quo is making it easier for you. You have privilege.
I love how you turn it around after I threw facts at you. You're telling to go backwards like this, but the facts is it's there. The facts is that these laws that you say that were good.
I never said they were good.
Are they good laws? You're turning it around.
I said they very well could have been repealed for other reasons than racism, but I am saying this, that you're saying that it's a more difficult journey. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying right now in America, you have every opportunity. In fact, it's even more than that. You have preference. As a person of color, it's easier for you to succeed than your white counterpart in this room right now. You are given a hand up. You are given discrimination in your favor right now.
And I just wish, my biggest wish, I just wish that race wasn't even considered. Like, the reason I think it's a problem is because let's say you have a institution that is trying to, say, okay, we need 50% more black people here. If you're a white person, you're going to start building up, well, I don't know if this is true, but it's just me guessing. You're going to start building up like a level of resentment if you don't get a position. Now you have a lot of white people who are saying, oh, that you're a diversity hire. They only hired you because you're black, or they only did this because you're black, or they only did this because you're this, blah, blah, blah. And that's the reason it's a problem. You think it's helping a community, but it can also be hurting that said community because everyone else is like targeting them now as if they don't deserve the position. So that's why I say when you have colleges or whatever, I think it's best if you just try to deviate from race or gender as much as possible. Just try to look for the most qualified person. Like, then if you do that, then it's fair. It's fair across the board because you're not looking at what you look like. You're not looking at how you sound, how you dress. You're just looking at, can you do the job? Can you do it well? Are you smart enough to be here? Are you qualified? That's just makes more sense to me. But maybe this is a hot take. Let's just finish this video out.
That's 100% not true, bro. It's that BS that you be teaching right now.
Thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate it. All right, enough. I don't know who she's saying. All right, thank you. Next question. Appreciate it. And let me just say this is the final thing. I encourage you to really think deeply and say, thanks for coming. I encourage you to ask this. Is like, you say that the journey will be different regardless of skin color. And how about this? For our Latino conservatives here, do you like when you hear stuff like this? He doesn't like, and by the way, I just encourage, and he's darker, so yeah. And so, by the way, can you come up? Can you come up to the line? Go to the line, yeah. Okay. So, I just want to ask our friend, our volunteer, our turning point. What's your name? Daniel. Daniel Fuentes. Daniel Fuentes. Daniel, our journey's different. Does skin color matter?
Our journeys are different, bro, because like you say, we're one united under God. I have been pulled over by cops many times. Most 99.9% of the times, these cops have treated me in the nicest ways. Cops that are probably look nothing like me. Every single turning point event that I have been to, where I've...
And I don't like the fact that people try to, bash cops nowadays. Like, people always use police officers as like the biggest example of racism in the country. They become like a symbol, and I don't agree with that. Because let's be honest, if you're in trouble, the average person you're going to want to call a cop. And when you're in trouble, regardless if you're black, white, Latino, Asian, if you're in trouble, you're going to want to call a cop. And you're going to be pissed off if they don't show up and help you. You're going to be pissed off and they don't come and risk their life to save yours. So when you have that mentality, and you also have the mentality of, well, you're still racist, but I still want you to save my life, it's just kind of contradictory towards me. Because how do you want the most racist, vile group in America to save you when you're in trouble? That doesn't even make sense, but maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong perspective. If you have a different perspective, comment down below. But I'm going to finish this out and be on our way.
Obviously, I can tell all of my Caucasian brothers and sisters, they have treated me in the nicest of ways. It has always been whites kind of on the left that have always mistreated me. I've gotten more mistreat from whites on the left than on the right for being a Latino conservative.
That's crazy, because someone will look at this video and people think I'm like this super. I'm just in the middle. I just watch this stuff. I don't even voice my opinions on it. I just be logical and objective and everything, and they look at me and probably bash me. But anyways, if you have any suggestions, comment down below, and I'll see you.